In Ontario, Canada, there is a famous zoo called Eayer Stonc Zoo. It is known for its green space and natural habitat for animals. Among them, Kairo, a male lion, is the biggest star of the zoo. Kairo was brought here as an orphaned lion cub. Its mother starved to death in a dry sanctuary due to a long drought. The zoo staff raised Kairo with all their love and devotion. Every day, Kairo is fed on time and carefully cared for. Its large green cage helps Kairo always feel free within its limits. Visitors often gather in front of the cage to admire it. Its golden mane and majestic stance make everyone admire. Kairo has lived peacefully for many years, almost never roaring loudly. It often watched the children laughing and talking outside the fence with gentle eyes. Life seemed to go on peacefully forever. But in 2022, a terrible event happened. The biggest storm in 50 years hit southern Ontario. Strong winds, hail, and lightning shook the area. Many ancient trees were knocked down like matchsticks. The fences and roofs of the cages were blown away. The primate cage was destroyed first, causing the monkeys and apes to run away in panic. Then a large tree fell on the lion cage, causing Kairo's fence to collapse completely. Traffic in the town was completely paralyzed. Communication with the rescue agency was cut off. Only 3 staff members were left on duty at the zoo during the storm. They cleaned up and tried to control the panicked animals. In the chaos, no one realized that Kairo had escaped. Kairo hadn't eaten for 2 days. Hunger made him restless and wary. He walked out of the ruined cage and quietly followed the muddy path. The other animals saw him and ran away in all directions. There was no barrier to stop Kairo, as the main fence had also been broken. Kairo left the zoo and entered the coniferous forest behind. This was originally an ecological buffer zone, but after the storm, it had become desolate. Broken branches lay scattered, and no birds were singing. The air was cold and damp everywhere. Kairo was tired, but still trudged through the mud puddles that smelled of blood. He heard the sound of water trickling in the distance. Instinct told him to go towards the sound. Kairo came to a wide lakeshore where the light was weak through the ruined canopy. There, a mother and cub of a black bear were fishing in the light rain. The bear cub jumped around its mother's feet innocently. Kairo hid behind a tree, observing carefully. Its eyes were fixed on the fresh fish wriggling in its mother's mouth. Its tongue licked its lips constantly because of hunger. Instead of attacking right away, Kairo began to creep closer. It crouched low, walking lightly like a hunter in the wild. The mother bear noticed, but did not show any fear. It leaned slightly, shielding the bear cub behind it. Kairo let out a low growl and rushed out, aiming to snatch the fish from its mother's mouth. The mother bear roared loudly across the lake, immediately rushing in to counterattack. It used its massive body to ram Kairo back. Kairo counterattacked with a quick pounce, but his claws were blunt and did no damage. The mother bear stood up on her hind legs and delivered a thunderous blow to Kairo's back. The blow sent Kairo staggering, blood starting to ooze from her face. The bear continued to claw at her face, causing deep cuts to her skin. Kairo, having never fought in the wild, reacted slowly and clumsily. The bear delivered a powerful hook that sent Kairo sprawling into the mud. It bent down and bit Kairo's shoulder, dragging him a few steps menacingly. The cub trembled, but still stood behind, watching its mother as if it were a survival lesson. Kairo tried to roar weakly, but his strength was gradually draining. Finally, he collapsed, gasping for air in the cold rain. The mother bear retrieved the fish and led the cub back into the forest. The lake shore became silent, except for the sound of water and Kairo's ragged breathing. A blackbird landed on a dry branch as if it were an omen. Kairo lay motionless for hours, seemingly dead. But his chest still rose and fell slightly. His heart was still fighting. In the middle of the forest, a rescue team of police and zoo staff followed the blood trail to the scene. They were shocked to see the king of the animal cage lying motionless on the shore of the lake. Immediately, they checked his pulse and realized that Kairo was still weakly alive. They spread a tarp and gently carried Kairo to a special vehicle for emergency treatment. Kairo's fight for survival was not over. It had just begun. On the way back, a staff member sat next to him, continuously dripping water and whispering to comfort Kairo. The special vehicle sped out of the forest, leaving the sound of the engine echoing in the cold, damp space. At the zoo gate, a veterinary team was waiting with a medical bed and mobile emergency equipment. Kairo was immediately transferred to the special treatment room. Doctors quickly started IV fluids and examined his entire body. They found that the injuries were only soft tissue, but blood loss and exhaustion had made his condition serious. Painkillers, antibiotics, and resuscitation solutions were urgently injected into his veins. The fur around the wounds was shaved off to disinfect. Doctors cleaned the deep scratches with saline and purple disinfectant. Kairo still had not opened his eyes, but his heart rate had gradually stabilized. The medical team worked through the night to keep the zoo icon from dying. The next morning, Kairo's eyes opened slightly, weak but full of life. He slowly licked water from a silver bowl placed next to his bed. Staff gently changed his bandages and massaged the less active areas to get the blood flowing. Kairo no longer roared as before, but his eyes were filled with gratitude. He was moved to a temporary cage with a roof and a 24/7 monitoring system. A special diet of soft meat, electrolytes, and vitamins helped him recover quickly. Every day, staff came to talk to and comfort Kairo. After a week, he was able to stand up and walk slowly around the cage. Images of Kairo receiving IV fluids were widely shared on social media. Thousands of shares and emotional comments spread across Ontario. People called Kairo the hero who survived the storm of the century. More and more visitors flocked to the zoo to see the brave lion with their own eyes. The government and zoo management held an emergency meeting. They decided to build a new semi-wild area for carnivores. This area is designed to help them maintain their survival instincts in a safer environment. Kairo will be the first resident of this area when he fully recovers. Many conservation organizations pledged funding and professional support for the project. A sign was erected in front of Kairo's old cage that read, "The Great Survivor of the Storm 2022." Since then, Kairo's story has become legendary, a lesson in instinct, courage, and humanity.